There's another thing. Platitudes and just generic statements. This is the sort of thing that got Bush into office. You know, like, we need to defeat terrorism. Like, okay. I can understand that, yeah, everyone wants to defeat terrorism, okay. How about a discussion about, say, the best way to do that? And then when other people disagree with you, Mr. President, then you could say, well, you see, you know, this is why I disagree, and then you could get into, like, you know, get into some detail. Give me some facts and some numbers and some analysis by such and such person, you know. But all we get from Mr. Bush is, some people don't believe that terrorism is an important issue. Well, I believe it's a very important issue, and we have to defeat the terrorists. Like, yay! And random people start clapping. Well, like, okay, yes, Mr. Bush, we believe in that. That doesn't mean we believe in your method of defeating terrorism. Right? He doesn't describe the method. He describes the abstract idea of defeating terrorists. I'm so good and so big and so bold and so, you know. Same thing with claims of honesty. Everyone claims to be honest. Everyone, you know. Government is too corrupt. I'm going to fix the government. And then that person gets into government. And nothing happens. And they're still corrupt. Holy crap, right? So when I see Obama, for instance, talking about, like, themes that I really believe in, like, you know, we've gotten all too cynical, and some of us are kind of tuning out, and we're, you know, we're kind of giving up. He says, no, we shouldn't give up. We should, you know, embrace the good side of politics. You know, elect the right people and make the right choices and make the tough decisions and do what's best. And I totally believe with that, right? But then I realized that, hey, Bush has made similar statements, hasn't he? And he similarly had throngs of people all clapping for him and cheering. And, you know, vague statements can get you so much applause. It's kind of ridiculous. You know, there is a thing on XKCD, which is a webcomic thing, and it was called Wikipedia Protester. And so, like, there's someone giving a speech, and there's someone off in the crowd holding up a big sign that says, "Citation needed." Yeah, that's what I want. When someone says, "My plan is the best plan," citation needed. Prove it, pal. Give me specifics. Go in depth. And it's particularly easy to do now with the internet. You know, people are, I mean, they're starting to use the internet. You know, all the candidates have like a MySpace and a Facebook and a website, obviously, and all these things. I don't think they really quite get this internet thing yet. You know, Obama, I keep coming back to him, has you know, a pretty big internet following. It's pretty much like him and Ron Paul as far as the internet's concerned. The two of them have lots of support. And I was hoping that he, or Ron Paul for that matter, would use the internet to its full extent. Like, have a conversation, why don't you? You know, he's giving... Well, he puts up videos on YouTube, and I'm subscribed to his channel, of his various speeches he's made. And the speeches are interesting. But what I really want to see him is enter a dialogue. I want to know that this isn't, you know, just this planned little thing that he's just reading off. I want to know the man actually understands his stuff. That's what earns my vote. That for any friends or election, I want to know that you know what the heck it is you're talking about. And I want to see this. I want to delve in and know that it all makes sense. So back to the thing I was saying with one-on-one. I'm going to talk to you for 8 hours. All right? And you know, you can have your staff with you, and all the staff with me. So if any, you know, particular fact comes up and we're not sure of it, well, then you can just easily ask your staff, go look that up, and a couple minutes later someone will come by and say, look, you know, there are X number of illegal immigrants or something. You know, okay, this isn't a stump the scholar. This isn't, you know, I'm not here to just grill you on a long list of data, because obviously when you become president or whatever it is you're running for, you're going to have, you know, staff people to provide you with these individual bits of data. I want to know that you know how to think. So if I were doing this one-on-one deal, I'd like just throw the candidate off balance. Not in a sort of mean way, to trap them, but I just want to just see, okay, we start the debate, or, okay, well, what do you think about transsexuals? Like, just to see if they have an opinion on it. Because you know what? That's not an issue that's come up recently, It's not a big thing in the media. And if the candidate is all just, PR and they're planning and stuff, they're not going to have much of an opinion on that. And then, like, on that or any other subject, I'll keep asking, I'll keep questioning, what do you think about this, what do you think about that? And it's not that you need to agree with me, necessarily, right? It's that I just need to if we disagree, or even if we do agree, I need to be able to respect your position. I need to know that it makes sense. I'll play a little devil's advocate here and there and make sure that, like, there's something to this. So what would I say? Well, everything I'd say would be like, bouncing off what the candidate has just said. But the sort of things I'd ask, I'd be like, okay, well, here's a broad question for you. Why should you be elected president? That doesn't seem like very much. In many interviews, this is what happened is the candidate would then give like a 60-second response, and then generally the interviewer moves on to questions of, how do you plan to beat the other candidates? I don't care how you plan to beat the other candidates. I care whether you deserve to win, right? So I'm going to do the other interview thing like, well, what do you think about so-and-so's planning the polls there, and they've got, in this state they've got, but in Iowa it's kind of tied, and in this, no. Who cares? I don't really care. I want to know who to vote for. So I talk to you and say, why are you becoming president? Because you're a great leader. Because, I was a senator, for instance. Okay, what did you do as a senator? Okay, name like X, Y, and Z bills. And then, like, I'll tell my staff person to go look up those bills and look up opinions on those things. And then I'll ask them maybe the process of drafting those bills and how that works and what negotiations maybe he had to make. And I'll ask him, okay, how does, if he's been a senator, for instance, how does the Senate really work? What's it like in there? I'm not asking this out of curiosity, what's the food like in the food court? No. I'm asking, like, how does politics work? How does one pass a decent bill, right? That's obviously a pretty useful skill. And then, even more so, the bill that ought to be passed. Then I ask them, okay, so what do you think we should do about the environment? And then, like, and this is, again, in a classical interview, what do you think we should do about the environment? The candidate will be like, well, I think, obviously, we need to protect the environment. The environment is very important, and without the environment, I don't think any of us would exist. So yes, I am pro-environment. Like, the guy hasn't actually said anything. I'd be like, okay, and previous to this, I'd have like a whole list of, so you just support bills like X, Y, and Z? You support this, what about this? What about this? What about this amendment here? What do you think about this idea in this way? What do you think? I just throw a couple of things in, a couple of stupid ideas, just to see if he's actually paying attention. Actually, again, not to trick him in a mean way. I'm going to be perfectly reasonable. Give people a chance to explain themselves. Another thing with 8 hours. You have full reign to explain in strict detail everything, because sometimes candidates, can get caught in what seems to be a simple yes or no question. It's actually more complicated, or sometimes they claim it's more complicated than it is, and really it's not. And so I want to, if you want to explain your position, and then I would totally be just like listening to everything they say. And then if ever we go on break, I'll just, like, play the tape back from, okay, watching what they say and analyzing this and this, and say, wait a minute, now that doesn't make sense. Like, wait, you supported this here and you supported that there. And if they're a classic politician, they'll be like, well, let's talk about healthcare. Like, no, pin you down on this. Come on. Now, I thought you had this position in this race, we had this position in salaries. What happened in the middle? What changed your mind? And then I go in there and I find out if they actually have any beliefs about this, or they're not, they just changed their mind because, that's the way the tide was turning politically, and that's the way people were going with this,